Welcome to Esther's Universe. It's a magical place full of authenticity, creativity, and joy. It's where anything is possible as science and spirituality come together to teach you how to step into your power and raise your vibration. So together we can heal the collective and make a positive impact on the world. If you love the pod, please share it and enjoy. Oh my God, I'm so excited and I don't even know what about. I'm sitting here with my morning coffee and I just want to talk about surrender for a second. So we have been raised in a world that tells us to control every outcome, right? Like we need to have our schedules dialed to the minute and fill up our days with so many things and be productive. And like, that's how you're going to achieve having a family and being healthy and having a job and a career and making enough money and having like a home and anything else you want to do, travel, like all that, like just the basics of being a human. We're told and raised in a world where we need to work so hard and be so productive and control every step of the process. Like we're teaching kids from a young age, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the kid's like, fuck, I guess I got to think about that. And then you're in high school thinking about what you want to study in uni. And like, that's years away still. You don't know what you're going to feel like then, but we're told that we need to. And then so we become adults and we need to control everything. And because this desire for control around our lives is anchored to our survival mechanism, right? Like if you don't figure out what it is that you're going to do, how are you going to pay to live? How are you going to survive? So it's like so deep within us to do these things. And then when we go through a spiritual awakening, one of the very main things we need to do is surrender to the unknown, which goes against the grain of like all of that. And it's like we're asking ourselves to go against our survival mechanisms, right? In the name of freedom, in the name of true happiness, in the name of living in a way that we've never experienced in our lives. We've not really seen the people around us do these things. And so we don't have like a safety net. We don't have, a ton of people around us that we've been raised with that have done it as well to be like, yeah, it's all good. Like we don't have that. So it's like our inherent survival mechanisms are arguing with us every step of the way that we try and surrender, right? So it's like you take this big step and you do something to surrender, even if it's just calming your anxiety in the moment and you're like, oh, I don't know like what my boss is going to say about the pay rise I asked him for, but if I don't get it, I can't pay my rent, so then I'll have to like get another job and I don't know what it's going to be and and you're like in your head and you're freaking out. Like even just surrendering in that moment is being like, I don't know the outcome and I can't control the outcome. I can't do anything more right now. I've asked for the pay rise and I can't do anything else at this moment. So all I can do is surrender and then see what happens. And then with whatever happens, then I'll decide the next step. And that is floating in the unknown. That's you being like, I don't know what's going to happen with my survival situation. I don't know what's going to happen with my rent, paying for it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with my job, like all that stuff. So that like all of your internal alarm bells are like, ding, 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 ding. Like, what are we going to do? And you're there just being like, okay, I surrender to whatever the outcome is. I surrender to the universe. I surrender to knowing that either way, I'm going to be okay. And that, when you practice that in every little moment that you can, you build the muscle. You build the muscle of trusting the universe and surrendering. You become comfortable with the unknown. And when you become comfortable with the unknown, just by practicing again and again and again and again and again, your body starts to get on board and your survival mechanisms start to relax. Your root chakra starts to feel more comfortable because at first it's like a bit of a flare up. Your root chakra feels a little bit like, holy fuck, what's happening? I need to understand what's going on because I need to survive. And it's like, no, root chakra, you've just been lied to your whole life. You just need to be, you just need to ground. Just go outside. It's okay. And you can remind yourself to help your root chakra through this stuff. Because your root chakra is all about security, right? So you can say things out loud like, I am safe. Because if you say anything else to yourself, it's like you can easily just like not believe yourself. But if you're like, I'm safe, and you genuinely are, because I'm just guessing right now, but if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sure that you're not in immediate danger. You know what I mean? So you can be like, I am safe. And you can say it out loud to yourself so that your subconscious hears you, so that your body hears you. And you can wrap your arms around yourself, literally hold yourself for a bit, like just arms across your chest and holding your other arms and just giving yourself a little bit of a hug. I am safe. And you can say like, I'm so grateful for the roof that I have over my head. Whether you're crashing with someone else, whether you're sleeping in a car, whether you're in your own home that you own or that you rent, you're grateful because you have somewhere dry and warm to be, right? And you can say out loud that you're grateful for all of the people who love you, even if it's one person. Be so grateful. And I'm sure it's not just one person. I'm sure lots of people love you. But do you know what I mean? And even if you can't think of anyone right now in your life that you're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful this person loves me, I love you. You know what I mean? Like that's why I do this. Because I love you. And I want to help you feel so empowered and so strong and so like in your knowing. And I want to help you get to a point where you can do what I'm doing in your own way, whether you also have a podcast or you don't want to do that, but you want to walk around and just impact the people in your everyday life and, you know, have beautiful words of wisdom and grounding for them and let them know it's all going to be okay. Like, you can be grateful for the people in the world who care about you. And when you are telling yourself, you know, I'm safe, I'm grateful for the roof over my head, I'm grateful for the people that love me, I'm grateful for the food in my belly, then you're reminding yourself like, oh yeah, like I'm actually safe, like I'm actually okay, because our monkey mind can come in and like be like, oh no, but like I don't have like a fucking mansion yet, so like I got to keep working really hard and I'm in survival mode and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, brother, chill. Relax. You don't need all the things. Like you'll get them, or you might already have them. Like our brains can kick into that survival mode and just make us think that everything that's around us is not enough and that we're not going to be good enough until we have all the things that society deem as amazing. But really so much of this spiritual journey is like stripping all that stuff away. And it's not to say you won't build it back up or to, you know, like you don't have to be spiritual and just like live in a van or in a bush and not wear shoes and, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like you don't have to just strip everything away and like never wear a shred of makeup again and never wear, you know, whatever. And like you can do this however you fucking want. Like I want to be a multimillionaire and I want to have a really sick house on property and I want to put up a bunch of little fucking container houses and make them really pretty and let my friends come and stay. And like if someone needs help, just let them crash. You know what I mean? Like I want to have a big community garden and people just can come and contribute and take some food and like, I don't know, there's heaps of things that I want to do. And I like the idea of wearing fun outfits, and I don't really wear a lot of makeup already, but maybe I will. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to judge myself for that. I don't really like wearing shoes, but I also love wearing a hot boot. Love a hot boot, and I love Mary Jane's, so I'm going to wear them. And it's like all these things are okay, right? But it's like when you strip it back, and I'm not saying to like ditch everything in your life if you've already got a bunch of things and you're good, like sweet. But mentally, emotionally, energetically, like if you strip it all back, like you don't need all that stuff. And so if you get really comfortable and grateful for what nature provides, and that's your baseline, then you just will be so eternally grateful for literally all of that and anything else. And so you're always in this beautiful energy of abundance, right? So like, if you listened to my episode a couple of eps ago where I was talking about like really, really honestly about my financial situation, there's been a lot of people message me about that being like, holy fuck, I needed to hear that. Because like I'm living like dollar to dollar at the moment. It's insane. I can't even believe that I'm actually still in this unit renting this place. Like it's, it's wild that the universe just keeps showing up and having my back and And I feel the times when I'm meant to rest, and I feel the times when I'm meant to be creative to find more money to come in. And it's always inspired and aligned action that I take. And it's been great. And I have learnt that I don't need much at all. And I'm so happy and I'm so abundant. So can you imagine the energy that I'm in? So I've stripped my life way back to the bare minimum of what I could survive on. I mean, it probably could go further, but that's not no thanks. I'm good. This is, I've already struggled a lot. I'm happy with this. I feel nervous even saying that out loud because the universe is listening. I'm like, don't show me what more you can do. I know. But, whatever happens, I'm always just going to surrender to it because I don't fucking know. I can't control what's going to happen. But I feel like it's all... Anyway. Basically what I'm trying to say is that I've stripped it so far back and I'm living like this so happily. And I'm in such a place of abundance and gratitude. And I'm thriving. I'm actually thriving. Like I've never been more glowy in my life. I've never been happier in my life. And I just keep surrendering. I keep stepping further into flow with the universe. And I don't know where I'm going. I don't know exactly what's coming next. I can't control this process. And I don't have any desire to control the process because I don't, as if I know more than the universe. You know what I mean? So imagine when I do have an abundance of money coming in, I'm going to remain grateful for it. Because I've been through this lesson and I've gotten myself to a place of gratitude with what I have in the here and now and of abundance with what I have right now. It's if we're always in that place of wanting more or needing more or thinking we need more to survive, then we're in the energy of lack, right? And what do we know? We know that whatever energy you're in is what energy you just keep attracting. So I'm just sipping my coffee. It's 6:39 in the morning. I haven't had any ADHD meds or coffee yet, and this is the energy I'm in. I woke up bing, ready for a chat. Anyway, so surrender. This is a big thing because it's basically teaching us to work with the universe, right? So if you just want to make it a fun goal for yourself to play a game every single day where you're how can I surrender to the universe today? Fucking just wait and see where you're at in a year. I swear. Do it. It's so fun. It's terrifying and it's also really fun. And it's sometimes you'll forget, you'll surrender, you'll make a big move, and then you'll forget that you surrendered and made this big move, and then you'll look around and be like, oh my God, I'm in this, it's really hard, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know, it's so confusing. And then you, snap out of it, and you're like, wait a fucking second, I made this big move, I jumped into this, I'm in surrender, I'm all good. Just calm down, breathe. And, the other thing is when you're in surrender, and you do have those moments of what do I do next? Or even if you're even if you're not freaking out at the time, but you just feel your energy is anxious and your mind is going and you can't think clearly, you want to shift your energy in those moments as much as you can. And yes, sometimes the anxiety is going to be a little bit unrelenting for a week or a few days or whatever. Happens from time to time. That's okay. But you want to be okay, I've noticed that I'm anxious. And hey, universe, please help me understand what I need to do to shift out of this anxiety. Because anxiety can, it can cloud your mind. So if you do things like go for a walk barefoot outside, if you can, I don't know what happens. When you're in a snowy country, how do you ground? Can you please email me or message me on Instagram or send a comment on this episode? I really want to know, if you're in a snowy country, how the fuck do you touch the earth? What do you do? What happens? How do you do it? If I can't touch the earth with my feet every day, in winter, and I'm in Queensland, it's the hottest place you could have a winter. And I'd still stand out there with my cold little tootsies, but I had to stop going on my walks barefoot. Anyway, you want to like literally touch the earth. So touch a tree if you can, and just spend the time like looking at it. You know, put your hand on the tree and look up at the leaves, and try not to think thoughts. Like, yes, the thoughts will come into your head, but just stop them. Like, and then the thoughts will come back, and then just stop them again. Just pause for a minute, and you'll find that you can only stop your thoughts for like 3 seconds. And then you'll find that you can stop your thoughts for 5 seconds. And then you'll find you can stop your thoughts for 10 seconds. And then you'll get really good at stopping your thoughts. And then if you forget to practice stopping your thoughts will kind of override again. And then you start the practice again. But it's so beautiful to just like observe nature without labeling it, without needing to, you know, think, oh, like, sometimes I look at a tree or a beautiful moment in nature. I'm like, oh, I really want to share this. And I'm about to get my phone out and take a photo of it. And I do sometimes a lot, because I think it is beautiful to share that stuff. Like, it's stunning. And people who live in cities will see it and be like, oh, and they'll feel like calm for a moment. You know what I mean? Like, that's beautiful to do. But just, you know, in those times when you're anxious and you're doing this kind of practice and you're like, oh my God, I want to take my phone out and take a photo of this thing. Like, if you can, just resist the urge to create something out of that for that moment, and try to just observe and just let it be, and just like let it in as it is into you. Just see it with your eyes, marvel at it, look at the light flittering on the leaves, look at the little ants crawling up and down the tree, look at the patterns in the bark, like get kind of like macro zoomed in close to the tree while you're touching it. You might look like a fucking weirdo, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? Go for it. Be weird, babe. And what else can you do? Obviously, meditation. I'm going to need everyone to stop being a little bitch and start meditating more. I have ADHD and I have fucking anxiety. Like, I don't anymore, but I did. And it comes back sometimes. Like, when it comes back loud, and then I do these practices and it goes away. But for the most part, I wouldn't say that I have anxiety anymore. I just experience it sometimes. But I had chronic anxiety. It was around constantly. I was constantly in survival mode. My mind was constantly talking and searching. It would never shut the fuck up. I have ADHD. I find it hard to sit still and do nothing. You know what I mean? If I can do it, you can do it. And the advantages of meditation are wild. Like, if you're like, oh, I really want to clear my intuition to talk to the universe and talk to, you know, like understand energy in my body and be able to use energy in a way where I move through the world so quickly. And pardon me, I just burped. And, you know, you want to be able to just like zoom through and have all the clear direction that you need and the inspiration and the energy to execute it all. If you want that, like, one of the things that I need you to do is start sitting down every day, or at least 3 times a week, and meditate. Whether you listen to like one of my meditations, if you type in into here on the podcast, if you search meditate and meditation, there's 2 different meditations that I have on here. By the way, I've launched the app, Theta app. So it's on the App Store. I'm having a bit of a situation with Google, so I'm just waiting patiently to be on Google. Sorry, everyone with an Android. But it's on the App Store. There's a bunch of meditations in there. Or if you just sit with no meditation in your ears and you just observe and like listen to nature, you can do it with your eyes open if you want, and just look around and do what I was saying about the tree, but you can just look around your environment. Or you can shut your eyes and focus on your breath, and you can breathe in and focus on your energy going up your spine, and put your attention like coming into your brain and going out the top of your head. So these things just help bring you into the present moment, helps bring you into your body. If you hear all the thoughts, or you see all the thoughts, or you witness all your thoughts running around in your head, just observe them, and then try and bring yourself back to a place of stillness where you're just focusing on your breath going up your spine. And then you might notice that you have a beautiful feeling come over your body. Maybe you might notice that you feel really calm. You don't really need to be looking for anything specific. Sometimes so the more I practiced meditation, at first it was just about calming my mind and slowing it down, observing my thoughts without attaching myself to them. So I wouldn't let myself get carried away with the thought. I would just watch the thought and be like, interesting that I think this way. That's good to know. And stuff like that. But then eventually, like, I was able to calm down so much, like just to go into a different brainwave that much, that I would have these like amazing experiences in meditation. And then meditation became like a really fun game, a fun way to connect with the universe, a fun way to create reality and manifest and change the trajectory of my day, my week, my year, that kind of thing. So many of the amazing things that I talk about I've had come through in meditation. You know what I mean? Or when I'm painting, which is another form of meditation. But most of my fucking huge epiphanies have come through my mind when my brain isn't just yapping away about anything to do with like anxiety and life and stuff like that. So meditation is amazing. Going outside, reconnecting with nature, that's also amazing. Do that. And what else can you do to ground and get rid of anxiety? Just hang on. Oh my God. When I'm a public speaker, how do I avoid that? Why does my throat do that so much? Why do I need to clear it all the time? Do you know? It's not my area of expertise, so I don't know. But if you know, can you let me know? Like, I don't want to be on a stage with a microphone and be like, ah. What do I do? Help me. So yeah. Now, grounding as well, like something that really grounds me when I'm anxious is remembering that I'm the universe. So if I'm like feeling anxiety about to come up in my body, or I'm feeling like anxiety is happening in my body, I'm not even sure why I'm anxious, and I'm just like, oh my God, what's happening? I remember that I am literally made of the energy of the divine consciousness that exists in everything and everyone everywhere. I am the universe. I'm a completely conscious being having this human existence, and I've just forgotten that for a second, and then I kind of just snap out of it. Like, I just wake up and I pull. It's almost like knowing that and reminding myself of that. So please remember this, like, remember to do this when you're feeling anxious. Just so sincerely remind yourself, not from a place of like, oh, I'm just trying to tell myself and hopefully I believe it. Like, no, you fucking know who you are. You know that you're the universe. You know that you are this divine consciousness. You know that there's like no one above you. You're not fucking it up. There's nothing, like, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, you are the universe and you are having this experience and you're living in this existence, and you can become conscious at any moment, right? And you just remember that and you just wake up. And you go, okay, cool. I'm all right. My human self just experienced anxiety, and that's chill. Like, I'm not dying from it. It's all good. So, back to surrender. When you are surrendering, you're in flow with the universe. You are in alignment with the universe. You are in alignment with yourself, right? And when you calm that anxiety down, you can have the actual space in your mind to have these steps come through that you should take next. Or if it's not actual steps that you feel like taking, it'll be inspiration. You'll notice crumbs being dropped around you. I'll give you an example of what it was like for me so that you understand. Okay, so while I was before I started building the Theta app, I knew I was going to be doing something. I had the seeds dropped by the universe that it was going to be an app. I didn't realize I was even going to be doing an app, but then I saw this like ad come up on Instagram, and I was like, that would be interesting. And then I like started researching, and then I was like, and I was like, I noticed that my interest was piqued, right? And I was like, ooh. And then I was like, I think I want to do an app. And I got so fucking excited. My body was like, yes, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, I want to launch tomorrow. And that's a big yes for me, right? So I was like, ooh, crumb one, nibbled. Yes, took that step. Didn't even take a step, but I just started researching. That to me was a step. That was a huge step. And I was like, yay. But like, so yes, that was a step. Anyway, then I was another time on Instagram, this other ad came up. And it was this chick giving away like a free downloadable course on how to build a a course in 7 days. And like you do her course over the period of 7 days. And while you're doing her course over the 7 days, you build your own course. And of course, it's me. So I did it in like an hour. So then I started like making a course. Now, initially, I was planning on whatever this business was that I was building, it was going to be purely pretty much around the meditations initially. And I was like, oh yeah, I could put other stuff in there. But I was really focused on the meditations because I love making them. And so it is still very much about meditating and everything, but it's also so much more than that now. It's developed, but I didn't know what was going to happen, right? So I was in surrender and I was just following these crumbs. I did her course and I built a micro course. I was like, sweet, I feel excited to do this. And so basically like my plan in my head, or what I thought was happening based on previous crumbs dropped by the universe, was follow the meditation trail, right? So I was like, I wrote all these meditations and I'd recorded my meditations, and then all of a sudden I was so intrigued by this micro course thing. And if I was to try and control the situation and fight with the flow of the universe, I would have ignored that excitement inside myself and that intrigue, that interest, and I would have just kept building the meditations. Right? And I don't know what would have happened differently. I don't know how that would have turned out differently. But I followed the intrigue. I followed the excitement and was like, I feel like building this mini course because I saw that, that ad about that chick and how I could make this course in 7 days. And I just suddenly wanted to make a course. I don't fucking know. And I did it. And I just made another one and I made another one. And I was like, cool. Didn't even have the app yet. I was just making these courses and putting them in Google Drive. I was just like, and then I got bored of making courses for a minute and went back to making meditations. And I was like, okay, slay. And I just kept building these things. And then all of a sudden I was like, all right, it's making sense now. Like my app is going to have micro courses and it's going to have meditations. And then I started to feel like, well, there's so many amazing things that I'm good at. Like I'm not just going to put in like courses about like the mind, body and soul. I'm also going to put in a course about how to start a podcast. And, I'm going to put in courses about how to paint, how to work with your energy, like how to go through spiritual awakening, like all this stuff. And it's so random and it's just me. It's like me in an app. And I did not know that that's what it was going to be. If I tried to control the situation, it could have turned out very differently and I might not have an app launched now. And I did all this in like the space of 12 weeks because I just followed the crumbs. Because like I don't know what the universe has planned, right? I have no fucking clue. All I'm doing is going like, this is the direction I want to go. I want to be able to help people, make money, and have free time to keep doing whatever I want. And so the universe is like, sweet, I can help you do that. And I'm like, thanks. And then the universe is dropping crumbs through my energy, through my excitement, through my interest, and I'm just following them. And because I'm following them, the universe knows the fastest possible route. I don't, but the universe does, right? So I'm just following my interest, and my interest is taking me the fastest possible route. But if I was going to be all like human about it, I would try and control the outcome and be like, I need to have a 10-step plan to launch my app, and I have to do this, and then I will do this, and then I will do this. But that's like the slowest fucking thing you can do, is try and control it. So you just got to let go and you got to flow. Love you guys. Bye.